Hello, beautiful people of the internet. How are you doing today? My name is Jackie and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today in this video, I'm going to be talking about some of my favorite first lines in books. I picked out 5 of my favorite opening lines from books to share with you all today. First, let's talk about what makes a great first line in my opinion. First of all, I love it when the opening of a book makes me ask questions. I really love first lines that immediately hook my interest and make me start wondering what is going on here? What is going to happen in this book? I also think a really good first line should tell us a little bit about the tone of the story. What exactly is it that you're getting yourself in for when you pick up this book? Ultimately, I think a really good first line is one that just captures my interest and makes me want to keep reading the paragraph, the chapter, the entire book. Now, this list is in no particular order. First, I considered not mentioning this book in this video, but it's my favorite, and the opening line is undoubtedly iconic. I'm talking about Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. So many people know the opening line of this book. It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife. This first line not only introduces us to the worldview of Mrs. Bennet and the other women in this town, but it also introduces Austen's satirical tone, because is this really a truth universally acknowledged? Is this something that everybody knows? Or is this just Mrs. Bennet's view of seeing the world, believing that this is something everyone is concerned with? I considered not including Pride and Prejudice on this list because, one, I think it's something everyone who watches my channel regularly probably expected from me, and two, I thought maybe I should try to think of things a little more out there, but these lines are so iconic, and I think as first sentences go, this one does a great job at establishing the author's voice and introducing us to Austen's social commentary and tone. Next on this list, I have a book that I actually didn't like that much. I think I gave this book like 2 or 3 stars. It was kind of a disappointment to me when I read it. However, I think the first line is great. That's The Female of the Species by Mindy McGinnis. The first line of this book is, "This is how I kill someone." That is a first line that immediately makes you go, wait, what? Not only that, but this opening line tells you that this main character, she's killed multiple people. If she says, "This is how I kill someone," she has this process. She knows what to do, and that just raises so many questions. This book is about a young woman who targets rapists and other abusers. She kills them to achieve some semblance of justice. I think the reason why I was disappointed by this book is because there were other plot elements that I just was not crazy about. I think had this entire book really been about her pursuit of vigilante justice, I would have liked it a lot more had it maintained the same tone as the first line. Next, I'm going to share the first lines from 2 books that I do not own, so I'm going to have to read the lines off my computer. But another first line that I really, really love, and I loved it from the first second that I read it, is the opening line to Kindred by Octavia E. Butler. "I lost an arm on my last trip home." The second I read that opening line, I knew that I was going to enjoy this book. That is an amazing opening sentence because it just pulled me in immediately. I felt like this first line just punched me in the face. It was not what I was expecting when I opened up this book. It made me immediately want to keep reading, and it generated a lot of questions in my mind. What has this main character been through? How did she end up losing her arm? This brutality of it just immediately made me want to continue reading the book. I knew immediately I was going to love this book, and I did. It's amazing. You should definitely read it if you haven't already. Another first line I really love is the first line from The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. I think there's a lot to unpack with this sentence, and there are so many good things going on here. So the first line is, "It was a queer, sultry summer, the summer they electrocuted the Rosenbergs, and I didn't know what I was doing in New York." So much good stuff going on there in that sentence. First things first, I love the description of the summer as queer and sultry. It's such an interesting word choice, and I just love the way it sounds, sultry summer. It just sounds so good when you say it out loud. Then you get to the next part of the sentence, the summer they electrocuted the Rosenbergs. Not only does this descriptor firmly set the story in a specific time, but it's also such a brutal reference. Like, this was the defining event of the summer, the execution of these two people, the electrocution of these two people, which is such a disturbing way to die. It just paints this really disturbing image in your mind. And finally, you have the last part of the sentence, "and I didn't know what I was doing in New York." That introduces the setting, and it also raises questions about the main character. Well, what is she doing there? What is going on in her life at this moment? All in all, this is an amazing first sentence. It is effective on multiple levels. Finally, I also wanted to mention the opening line of The Secret History by Donna Tartt. This is another opening line that grabbed me from the very start. "The snow in the mountains was melting, and Bunny had been dead for several weeks before we came to understand the gravity of our situation." First, you have the imagery of the snow melting in the mountains, which tells you a little bit about the setting. This book is set at a college in New England, so you immediately know that this is a place that has mountains and snowy winters, so it introduces the setting a little bit with that piece of imagery. Then you get the sucker punch of Bunny had been dead for several weeks, which immediately raises questions. Who is Bunny? How did this person die? What happened there? And then you get, before we came to realize the gravity of our situation, which raises even more questions, because then you start wondering to yourself, okay, did they kill Bunny? Why? What is the situation that's going on here? What is so grave about it? Like, did they have something to do with this death? Did somebody kill Bunny and they're worried that this person's going to come after them as well? It raises so many questions in your mind and just reels you in to this story. So everyone, those are 5 of my favorite first lines in books. Would you like to see me do a part 2 of this video? If so, do let me know in the comments. If you liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me. I post new videos every single Wednesday and Sunday. Do let me know in the comments, what is your favorite opening line from literature? I would really like to hear your thoughts. And my social media links are down below if you want to follow me on Tumblr, Instagram, or be my friend on Goodreads. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a spellbinding rest of your day. Bye, and I'll see you next time.